गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरु साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। अखण्डमण्डलाकारं व्याप्तं येन चराचर पदं दर्शितं न तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। स्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। ॐ श्रीकृष्ण परमात्मने नमः। श्रीमद्भगवद्गीता सप्तदशोऽध्यायः श्रद्धात्रयविभागयोगः। अर्जुन उवाच ये शास्त्रविधिमुत्सृज्य यजन्ते श्रद्धयान्विताः तेषां निष्ठा तु का कृष्ण सत्त्वमाहोरजस्तमः। श्रीभगवानुवाच त्रिविधा भवति श्रद्धा देहिनां सा स्वभावजा सात्विकी राजसी चैव तामसी चेति तां शृणु। सत्त्वानुरूपा सर्वस्य श्रद्धा भवति भारत। श्रद्धामयोऽयं पुरुषो यो यच्छ्रद्ध स एव सः। यजन्ते सात्विका देवान्यक्षरक्षांसि राजसाः प्रेतान् भूतगणान् शान्ये यजन्ते तामसा जनाः। अशास्त्रविधि अशास्त्रविहितं घोरं तप्यन्ते ये तपो जनाः दम्भाहंकारसंयुक्ताः कामरागबलान्विताः कर्षयन्तः शरीरस्थं भूतग्राममचेतसः मां चैवान्तः शरीरस्थं तान् विद्यासुरनिश्चयान्। आहारस्त्वपि सर्वस्य त्रिविधो भवति प्रियः यज्ञस्तपस्तथा दानं तेषां भेदमिमं शृणु। आयुः सत्त्वबलारोग्य सुखप्रीतिविवर्धनाः रस्या स्निग्धा स्थिरा हृद्या आहारा सात्विकप्रियाः कट्वं लवणात्युष्ण तीक्ष्णरूक्षविदाहिनः आहारा राजसस्येष्टा दुःखशोकामयप्रदाः यातयामं गतरसं भूतिः पर्युषितं च यत् उच्छिष्टमपि चामेध्यं भोजनं तामसप्रियम् अफलाकाङ्क्षिभिर्यज्ञो विधिदृष्टो य युज्यते यष्टव्यमेवेति मनः समाधाय स सात्विकः अभिसन्धाय तु फलं दम्भार्थमपि चैव यत् युज्यते भरतश्रेष्ठ तं यज्ञं विद्धि राजसं विधिहीनम् असृष्टान्नं मन्त्रहीनम् अदक्षिणम् श्रद्धाविरहितं यज्ञं तामसं परिचक्षते देवद्विजगुरुप्राज्ञपूजनं शौचमार्जवम् ब्रह्मचर्यमहिंसा च शारीरं तप उच्यते अनुद्वेगकरं वाक्यं सत्यं प्रियहितं च यत् स्वाध्यायाभ्यसनं चैव वाङ्मयं तप उच्यते मनः प्रसादसौम्यत्वं मौनमात्मविनिग्रहः भावसंशुद्धिरित्येतत् तपोमानसमुच्यते श्रद्धया परया तप्तं तपस्तत्त्रिविधं नरैः अफलाकाङ्क्षिभिर्युक्तैः सात्विकं परिचक्षते सत्कारमानपूजार्थं तपोदम्भेन चैव यत् क्रियते तदिह
Yes, I thought this is all close here.
राजसं
Labang juice maybe would
चलमग्राहेणात्मनो यत् पीडया क्रियते तपः परस्योत्सादनार्थं वा तत्तामसमुदाहृतम् दातव्यमिति यद्दानं दीयतेनुपकारिणे देशे काले च पात्रे च तद्दानं सात्विकं स्मृतम् यत्तु प्रत्युपकारार्थं फलमुद्दिश्य वा पुनः दीयते च परिक्लिष्टं तद्दानं राजसं स्मृतम् अदेशकाले यद्दानम् अपात्रेभ्यश्च दीयते असत्कृतमवज्ञातं तत्तामसमुदाहृतम् ॐ तत्सदिति निर्देशो ब्रह्मणस्त्रिविधः स्मृतः ब्राह्मणास्तेन वेदाश्च यज्ञाश्च विहिताः पुरा तस्मादोमित्युदाहृत्य यज्ञदानतपः क्रियाः प्रवर्तन्ते विधानोक्ताः सततं ब्रह्मवादिनाम् तदित्यनभिसन्धाय फलं यज्ञः तपः क्रियाः तदित्यनभिसन्धाय फलं यज्ञतपः क्रियाः दानक्रियाश्च विविधाः क्रियन्ते मोक्षकाङ्क्षिभिः सद्भावे साधुभावे च सदिते तत्प्रयुज्यते प्रशस्ते कर्मणि तथा सशब्दः पार्थयुज्यते यज्ञे तपसि दाने च स्थितिः सदिति चोच्यते कर्म चैव तदर्थीयं सदितेवाभिधीयते अश्रद्धया हुतं दत्तं तपस्तप्तं कृतं च यत् असदत् असदित्युच्यते पार्थ न च तप्रेप्य नो इह असदित्युच्यते पार्थ असदित्युच्यते पार्थ न च तत्प्रेप्य नो इह ॐ तत्सदिति श्रीमद्भगवद्गीतासु उपनिषत्सु ब्रह्मविद्यायां योगशास्त्रे श्रीकृष्णार्जुनसंवादे श्रद्धात्रयविभागयोगो नाम सप्तदशोऽध्यायः ॐ तत्सत् श्रीमद्भगवद्गीता अष्टादशोऽध्यायः अर्जुन उवाच सन्न्यासस्य महाबाहो तत्त्वमिच्छामि वेदितुं त्यागस्य च ऋषिकेश पृथक् केशिनिषूदन तत्सत् सर्वं श्रीकृष्णार्पणमस्तु Jai Gurudev. Brahmaraji, should we go to the last part of the chapter 17 once again, or Prasthanatrayam? Kindly guide.
Balaji, that yesterday she said the last four verses to read that again,
Okay, okay, fine.
and then do the Manana after that, or read it. I don't know the Prasana.
Yeah, we'll do the last four verses again, and then we'll go to the Prasthanatrayam and do all the meanings one by one. We've already done the chanting, so we'll just do the meanings.
Okay, okay, Dhanyavad.
The last four verses, maybe we can do.
Yeah,
I'm just going to mute all, and then you can unmute yourself, okay?
yes, Dhanyavad. Dhanyavad. Is it okay? The screen, the verse 24 to 28, we will do as guided by Brahmaraji. So just see the now he's going to deal with each one of these words severely, severally. There is a notification for internet instability. Just let me know if it is disturbing. तस्मादोमित्युदाहृत्य यज्ञदानतपक्रियाः प्रवर्तन्ते विधानोक्ताः सततं ब्रह्मवादिनाम्. Tasmat, therefore, Brahmavadinam, for those who know the Veda, Vidhana Uktaha, mentioned by injunctions of the Veda, Yajna Dana Tapah Kriyaha, the activities such as rituals, charities, religious disciplines, Satatam, always, Om iti udahritya, by pronouncing Om, Pravartante, begin. तस्मात् ब्रह्मवादिनां विधान उक्ताः यज्ञ दान तप क्रियाः सततम् ओम इति उदाहृत्य प्रवर्तन्ते. Therefore, for those who know the Vedas, the activities such as rituals, charities, and religious disciplines mentioned by injunctions of the Veda always begin by pronouncing Om. At the beginning of a ritual, Om is recited by the priests, Ritviks, and only then is the ritual begun, mentioned in the Chando, Taittiriya Upanishad. Then and throughout the performance of the ritual, Omkara is repeatedly pronounced, where acts of charity, dana are also undertaken, first saying Om to ensure their efficacy. We have seen that there are three types of dana, but what is matter is only Satvika dana. Mere reciting Om will not improve the quality of Rajasika or Tamasika dana. The three types of tapas, Kaika, Vachika, and Manasa. Kaik, Vachik, and Manas can also be made proper by first reciting Om. That makes all these things as effective as if they were done exactly as mentioned in the mandates of Shastra Vidhanoktaha. For whom does the undertaking begin by saying Om have this effect? For those who have the qualifications to know and recite the Veda, the Brahmavadis. For those who know the Veda, all the yajna, dana, tapaha, kriyas begun by reciting Om become as good as if they were done according to the stipulations of Shastra. When do they begin in this way? Not occasionally, but always, satatam. It is not that certain karmas begin like this and others do not. Any mantra or archana always begins with Om. Similarly, any yajna, dana or tapas always begins with Om. Why? Om purifies everything. It is such a sacred sound that by simply pronouncing it, even the speech, vak, is purified. And the action, kriya, you do becomes complete. It is the same with reference to the word tat. Tadinya, tadityanaभिसन्धाय फलं यज्ञतपः क्रियाः दानक्रियाश्च विविधाः क्रियन्ते मोक्षकाङ्क्षिभिः तत् इति saying मोक्षकाङ्क्षिभिः by those who want moksha phalam anabhisandhaya without expecting a result other than antakarana shuddhi vividhaha various yajna tapah kriyaha activities such as rituals and religious disciplines, dana kriyahacha, and charitable activities, kriyante, are performed. Tat iti mokshakangshibihi phalam anabhisandhaya vividhaha yajna tapah dana kriyahacha यज्ञ तपः क्रियाः दान क्रियाः च क्रियन्ते. Saying that various activities such as rituals and religious disciplines and charitable activities are performed by those who want moksha without expecting a result other than antakarana shuddhi. Here we have to bring in the word udaharitya, which means pronouncing from the previous verse. Even though tat, that is a pronoun which can refer to anything, when there is no reference mentioned, it indicates only tat, which is Param Brahma, the cause of everything. The tat in the Vakya, tat tvam asi. Like Om, tat is the word symbol for Param Brahma and has the same effect if it is used in that sense with Shraddha. Both Om and Tat are meant for mumukshus. It is used by those who want moksha, that is, those who want to be free, moksha kangshibihi. When they perform various activities, vividhaha kriyaha, whether they be rituals, yajna, religious disciplines, tapas, or charitable activities, dana kriyaha, all are performed without expecting a result, such as punya, anabhisandhaya phalam. No one can perform an action without expecting a, but they only want antakarana shuddhi, which is not considered a phala. A result like punya, etc., is not the end in view. These karmas are performed purely for Antahkarana Shuddhi with the attitude that it is an offering to Ishvara, Ishvara Pranabuddhya, and they are also performed in order to please Ishvara, Ishvara Prithiyartham. They are done by people who want to be free and are begun by pronouncing these auspicious words. Generally, tat is not used alone, but in the expression Om Tat Sat. Om is used without the other words following at the beginning of any undertaking. But what is said here is that each one of them is efficacious. Using these words, any of these activities becomes sattvika. So, Om and Tat are very auspicious words. Before doing any tapas, yajna or dan, if we use it with proper qualifications and only for sattvic aspect, these activities, they take care of the rest of the vidhi. They become sattvika. If you want me to repeat, just let me know. The application of Om and the word Tat have been told. Now he tells how the word Sat is used in the same way. Sadbhave sadhubhave cha sadityetat prayuj. Sadbhave sadhubhave cha sadityetat prayujyate. Prashaste karmani tatha. Prashaste karmani tatha. Sachabdah parthayujyate. Please correct me if my pronunciation is wrong. Sadbhave, with reference to bringing into existence, sadhu bhavecha, and with reference to righteous life. Sat iti et. This sat prayate is used. O son of Pritha, tatha, so too. Sat shabdah, the word sat, prashaste karmani, with reference to a sanctifying karma, yujyate is used. Sadbhave, sadhubhave cha, sat iti etat prayujyate, partha, tatha sat shabdah prashaste karmani yujyate. This sat is used with reference to bringing into existence and with reference to a righteous life. So to Arjuna, the word sat is used for a sanctifying karma. The word sat is used in different senses, all of which are good. Sadbhava means bringing into existence something that was not there before. Shankara gives as an example the birth of a son. The previously non-existent son is born to a given person. For that son, the word Sat is used. Now the son is. The word Sat is used for any object that exists. A pot exists. Gataha, sun. The cloth exists. Pataha, sun, etc. Since it is used in the sense of existence and the only existence is Parameshwara, the word Sat is purifying, it is Pavitra. When you say the pot is or the cloth is, that is Sat Param Brahma. Sadhu Bhava means a righteous life, a life lived in keeping with Dharma. One who follows Dharma is called Sadachar or Satpurusha. Sadachari or I think Sadachar, okay, or Satpurusha. And association with such a person is Satsanga. Anyone who lives a life of dharma or knows the Sadvastu is called a Satpurusha. In that sense also, the word Sat is used, Prayujyate, and it is also used with reference to a sacred karma, Prashaste Karmani. Shankara said,
Prashaste Karmani.
Prashaste Karmani.
Yeah.
Kshamata.
Ilaji, there is a little bit of voice disturbance. If you're okay, I
Oh,
will
yeah,
continue.
there is.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
I
Please.
can take
Yeah,
over.
yeah. I can share the screen. You can read. Yeah.
I will share the screen. Just give me 1 second. So
Yeah.
please.
Yeah, if it is from the beginning, the word Sat, because it is very important difference between Sat and
Yeah, I will start
Sat.
from there.
Yeah, Dhanyavad.
It's verse 26, no? Sadbhave sadhu bhave cha sadityetat prayujyate prashaste karmani tatha sashabda partha yujyate. This sat is used with reference to bringing into existence and with reference to a righteous life. So too, Arjuna, the word sat is used for a sanctifying karma. The word sat is used in different senses, all of which are good. Sadbhava means bringing into existence something that was not there before. Shankara gives as an example the birth of a son. The previously non-existent son is born to a given person. For that son, the word sat is used. Now, the son is. The word sat is used for any object that exists. A pot exists, ghataha san. The cloth exists, pataha san, etc. Since it is used in the sense of existence, the only existence is Parameshwara. The word sat is purifying. It is pavitra. When you say the pot is or the cloth is, that is Sat, Param Brahma. Sadhu Bhava means a righteous life, a life lived in keeping with Dharma. One who follows Dharma is called Sadachara or Satpurusha. And association with such a person is Satsanga. Anyone who lives a life of Dharma or knows the Sadvastu is called Satpurusha. In that sense also, the word Sat is used, Prayujyate. And it is also used with reference to a sacred karma, Prashaste Karmani. Shankara cites marriage, Vivaha, as an example. This is considered a good karma, Sat karma, as is Upanayana. Any important karma which sanctifies a particular event in your life is called Sat karma. So it is used, Sat is used in various ways. It's used in, basically, it indicates something good and it indicates existence. Sadbhava means bringing into existence something that was not there before. like the sun, or you're creating a pot, then that pot comes into being. The sun comes into existence. The sun was not there before he came into existence. It is also used in the sense of existence, that isness. So when we say the pot is, the cloth is, that isness is indicative of the truth, the existence. And that is purifying. Further, yajne tapasi dane cha sthiti saditi chochyate karma chaiva tadarthiyam sadityeva bhidhiyate. Yajne with reference to a ritual, tapasi with reference to a religious discipline, danecha and with reference to giving, sthitihi commitment, sat iticha uchyate is called sat, karma cha eva, and indeed a karma, tadarthiyam for their sake, sat iti eva abhidhiyate is also called sat. Yajne tapasi dane cha sthitihi sat iti cha uchyate karma cha eva tadarthiyam sat iti eva abhidhiyate. A commitment with reference to a ritual, a religious discipline, and giving is also called sat, and a karma for their sake or for the sake of Ishvara is also called sat. A commitment with reference to a ritual, a religious discipline, and giving is also called sat. And a karma for their sake or for the sake of Ishvara is also called sat. Sthitihi means a state of remaining committed to some pursuit. A pursuit of or commitment to the performance of a ritual, yajna, a religious discipline, tapas, or giving, charity, dana, is considered to be sat. It is a proper pursuit, provided, of course, that it is done with shraddha and the appropriate attitude. Similarly, any karma that is tadarthiya, done for the sake of these, that is yajna, dana, tapas, etc., is also called sat. Or the word tadarthiya can mean for the sake of Ishvara. Any action performed as a dedication to Ishvara is considered satkarma. This can even be a non-religious activity, laukika karma, that is done in conformity with dharma. Since the dharma itself is Parameshwara, naturally an activity in keeping with dharma becomes a karma offered to Ishvara. It is satkarma. So it is not, sthitihi is staying committed to some pursuit. It could be a religious discipline, it could be a yajna, with tapas, charity. So being committed is sat, that is one. Second is doing it, of course it is to be done with a proper attitude, that's shraddha. Second is any karma that is done for the sake of these. That is also sat. So one is a mental commitment to them. Second is doing the karma towards that. And the third is when you're doing it for the sake of Ishvara. Yajna, tapas and dana. And then Shankara also includes laukika karma. When you're doing it according to dharma, then it becomes satkarma. Because Ishvara is dharma. Shankara says that even if the karma is not satvika or is incomplete, by using these three words, Om Tat Sat, it becomes satvika and complete, of course, when it is done with shraddha. all the omissions and commissions are made up for. If there is a lack of proper attitude, making it asatvika, or if certain steps are committed or mistakes are made, Om Tat Sat is an expression which will make up for everything. Finally, he says that even saying Om Tat Sat without any Shraddha is useless. Shraddha is the most important factor. If it is proper, it makes the karma sattvika. This answers Arjuna's question. The efficacy of all these karmas is entirely dependent upon what kind of Shraddha you have. Shraddha makes it work. Then everything is accomplished. So remember, the Shraddha is not just the faith, it is the overall, your attitude, your um, the value system you have, what you prioritize, the way of thinking, all that comes under Shraddha. So when we say Om Tat Sat, even if whatever activity we are doing is not completely sattvika, if it is incomplete in some way, where maybe there is a lack of attitude or you don't have all the materials to do what you're doing, then with these three words, when they're said with Shraddha, then that is, it completes it. It makes it sattvika. Therefore, Ashraddhaya hutam dattam tapastaptam kritam chayat asadityuchyate partha na cha tat pretya no iha. Yet that which is ashraddhaya, without shraddha, hutam is offered in a religious ritual, dattam is given, taptam tapas, religious discipline performed, kritam cha, and that which is done, asat iti uchyate, is called asat, that which does not serve its purpose. Partha, O son of Pritha, Arjuna, tat cha, and that, na pretya, is not fruitful after death, na u, and indeed not iha, here. Yat ashraddhaya hutam tattam taptam tapaskritam cha asat iti uchyate partha tatcha na pretya na u iha. That which is without shraddha, offered in a religious ritual, given as charity, performed as a religious discipline, and that karma which is done is called asat, that which does not serve its purpose, Arjuna, and that is not fruitful after death, and indeed not here. There is an Upanishad Vakya that says that what is given is to be given with Shraddha. Without Shraddha, it is not to be given. Shraddhaya deyam, ashraddhaya adeyam. This is from the Taittiriya Upanishad. Yeah. Any charity given or a religious discipline performed without Shraddha is considered asat. This is what is said later in the same Upanishad. Asanneva sabhavati asad brahmeti veda chet. He becomes as good as non-existent if he considers that Brahman is non-existent. This is also from the Taittiriya Upanishad. Any of these actions done without Shraddha in the existence of Parameshwara and in the truth of the words of the Shastra are as good as not done. Asat. Hutam means what is offered, usually an oblation that is offered into the fire. If even as he is offering ghee into the fire, he is thinking, I am wasting this ghee by offering it here. There are poor people who could be using it. Then that offering is useless. Some people do argue that instead of offering kilos of ghee into the fire, we should give it to the poor. But generally, tins of ghee are not offered unless the ritual is meant for the good of the people, poor and rich. If this is not understood, such arguments can undermine one's shraddha as one is making the offering. Then there are others who just make an offering because of religiosity or because they are compelled to do it. Because his father or mother asks him to do it, he does the ritual to oblige them. Or the opinion of society may be motivating him. What will they think if I don't do it? To get a good name, or out of fear of condemnation, he makes his ritual offering. He is a non believer, Nastika, who wants to pass as a believer, Astika, and therefore he may offer. Similarly, a person may give money but without Shraddha, or he may do some tapas, perhaps to gain some name, but not out of Shraddha. Similarly, any other karma, like singing in praise of Ishvara or doing namaskara, may be done entirely without Shraddha, merely as a convention. All these actions are asat. They are incapable of producing any merit. They are as good as not done. How emphatically he's saying it. So, the Shraddha is so important, the attitude in your mind with what you do, how you do, with what result in mind that you do. Shankara says such karmas are entirely outside the means of gaining Ishvara. Karma done properly helps you gain Antahkarana Shuddhi, and with a prepared mind, you can understand your identity with Ishvara. The gain of Ishvara is by this knowledge, and being knowledge, it depends upon Antahkarana Shuddhi, which is accomplished by doing karma with a proper attitude. When there is no Shraddha, even though it is done, it is of no use. Therefore, what is important is Shraddha. In gaining knowledge, Shraddha is very important. As we have seen, Shraddhavan labhate jnanam. The one who has Shraddha gains knowledge. Even though all these karmas imply a lot of effort, they do not become means for gaining a result after death. Pretya, going away from this life, because they do not produce punya. Even now, in this life, they do not produce a result. You only lose whatever you offer. How do we know such a karma is not useful in producing any result here or hereafter? Because it is censured by the sadhus. Sadhubihi ninditatvat. Ninditatvat. Sadhus are those people who know the Shastra. These are done without Shraddha. These that are done without Shraddha are not considered to be proper rituals, and it is not considered efficacious by them. So it is just like living, it is not existing at all. You're just doing it for the sake of doing, or you have a wrong attitude. All of those actions, whether it is a ritual, whether it is dana, tapas, is completely useless. It will not give you merit in this life, neither in the other life. So when done with an attitude of just getting the Antakarana Shuddhi for moksha, that becomes Satvika Shraddha. All others, like if you're doing it for name, fame, or just to show off, or doing it the other way around to destroy others, like Tamasika, all that becomes just a waste of time. What is karma that Arjuna is being urged to do here? To fight. Now, we can look back to the second chapter where Krishna said, therefore, prepare yourself for battle. Tato yuddhaya yujjasva. The 38th verse of second chapter. Because to fight such a battle is his own dharma, done with a proper attitude. It will bring antahkarana shuddhi, and with that, knowledge of his essential identity with Ishvara is possible. In fact, this battle itself becomes a laukika karma. It is not yajna, dana, or tapas. It's a fight. It's a dharma yuddha. So it becomes a laukika karma. So when he does that with a proper attitude, not with an aspect of taking revenge with Duryodhana and the Kauravas, when he's doing it with an attitude of protecting dharma as a kshatriya, then that will bring antahkarana shuddhi. And with that antahkarana shuddhi, knowledge of his essential identity with Ishvara is possible. Om Tat Sat iti Srimad Bhagavad Gitasu Upanishadsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Shri Krishna Arjuna Samvade Shraddhatraya Vibhaga Yogo Nama Saptadashodhyayaha. Om Tat Sat. In the Bhagavad Gita, which is nothing but the Upanishads, the subject matter of which is knowledge of Brahman and Yoga, Karma Yoga, in the dialogue between Krishna and Arjuna is the 17th chapter called Shraddhatraya Vibhaga Yoga, topic of the division into threefold Shraddha. From this, it is clear that the Gita is not a pep talk to get Arjuna to get up and fight. It is a Shastra which reveals the knowledge of Brahman, and it also deals with Karma Yoga, which includes all that is necessary for gaining the knowledge. In this regard, it talks about values, attitudes, what is to be done and not to be done. In the 17th chapter of this dialogue between Krishna and Arjuna, the topic is predominantly the threefold Shraddha. Jai Gurudev. So yesterday, Mrinal had some question. Mrinal, was that repeated, and are you okay with that? Do you want a repeat of that? I didn't know
I
which
think
one
it
you
is
want.
clear now. It was, I think, the last paragraph or so. Um, I think it has been clear.
It is clear?
Yeah, thanks.
So what I suggest we do is I will read the meanings, the word meanings one by one from the Prasthanatrayam, and then we can do Manana on this. Is that okay? So that then we have a grasp of the whole chapter. Just let me share screen. Oh, sorry. So, Shraddhatraya Vibhaga Yoga, the threefold Shraddha. Arjuna said, O Krishna, those who perform a ritual, giving up what is stipulated by the Shastra, but endowed with Shraddha, what is their basis? Is it Sattva, Rajas, or Tamas? Sri Bhagavan said, the Shraddha of the embodied beings is born of the nature of the mind. As Sattvika, Rajasika, and Tamasika, it is threefold. Listen to that threefold Shraddha. O Bharata, Shraddha of everyone is in keeping with his mind. This person who is permeated by Shraddha, whatever is his Shraddha, he conforms to that Shraddha. The Sattvika people worship the Devas. The Rajasika people worship the Yaksha Rakshasas. And the other Tamasika people worship ghosts and Bhutaganas. Those people who, riddled with pretension and egotism, endowed with strong passion and longing, and lacking in discrimination, perform terrible religious disciplines not enjoined by the Shastra, emaciating the sense organs, obtaining in the body, and me too, who obtains within the body, may you know them to be of Asura conviction. And also, for everyone, the food that is like is threefold. So too, our ritual, religious discipline, and charity. Listen to this difference of theirs. Satvika people love succulent, oily, fortifying, and pleasing foods which increase longevity, mental clarity, strength, health, pleasure in taste, and aesthetic pleasure. Foods which are very bitter, sour, salty. So this very has to be attached to every of this. Very bitter, very sour, very salty, very hot, very pungent, very astringent, and burning that give pain, sorrow, and ill health are highly desired by Rajasika people. Food which is old or inadequately cooked, from which the essence has gone, which is putrid, day old, leavings, and also unfit as an offering, is beloved to a Tamasika person. That ritual, which is known through the Shastra and is performed by those who do not expect a result other than Antahkarana Shuddhi by making up the mind, this ritual is just to be performed, is Sattvika. On the other hand, may you know that ritual which is offered keeping in view a result and also just to proclaim one's own religiosity is Rajasika, Arjuna. They say that a ritual which is bereft of the stipulation of Shastra, without distribution of food, without proper recitation of mantras, without distribution of wealth, and without Shraddha is Tamasika. Worshipping gods, brahmanas, teachers, and wise people, external cleanliness, straightforwardness, self discipline, and not physically hurting are all collectively called discipline of the physical body. Speech, which does not cause agitation, which is true, pleasing, and beneficial, and daily repetition of one's own Veda are collectively called discipline of speech. Mental cheerfulness, cheerfulness in expression, absence of pressure to talk, mastery over the mind, clean intent. These together is called mental discipline. That threefold tapas, observed with total shraddha by people who have no expectation of results other than mental purity and who are composed, is called sattvika. That tapas, which is done for the sake of receiving honor, respect, and worship, and with ostentation, which is unsteady and not lasting, is called here Rajasika. That tapas which is done due to deluded understanding, by afflicting one's own body or for the sake of destroying another, is called tamasika. That charity which is given thinking it is to be given to one from whom one does not expect a return, in the proper place, at the proper time, and to a worthy recipient, is considered sattvika charity. On the other hand, that charity which is given for the sake of being helped in return or keeping in view a result, punya, to be gained later, and that which is fraught with pain, is considered rajasika. That charity which is given without respect, improperly, contemptuously, at the wrong place and wrong time, and to unworthy recipients, is called tamasika. Om Tat Sat is the threefold expression of Brahman. By that, the Brahmanas, the four Vedas, and rituals were created in the beginning. Therefore, for those who know the Vedas, the activities such as rituals, charities, and religious disciplines mentioned by injunctions of the Veda always begin by pronouncing Om. Saying that various activities such as rituals and religious disciplines and charitable activities are performed by those who want moksha without expecting a result other than antahkarana shuddhi. This sat is used with reference to bringing into existence and with reference to a righteous life. So too, Partha, the word sat is used for a sanctifying karma. A commitment with reference to a ritual, a religious discipline, and giving charity is called sat, and a karma for their sake or for the sake of Ishvara is also called sat. That which is without shraddha offered in a religious ritual, given as charity, performed as a religious discipline, and that karma which is done is called asat, that which does not serve its purpose, Arjuna, and that is not fruitful after death, and indeed not here. Om Tat Sat. इति श्रीमद्भगवद्गीतासु उपनिषत्सु ब्रह्मविद्यायां योगशास्त्रे श्रीकृष्णार्जुनसंवादे श्रद्धात्रयविभागयोगो नाम सप्तदशोऽध्यायः। अथ अष्टादशोऽध्यायः मोक्षसन्न्यासयोगः। Arjuna said, O mighty arm, I want to know distinctly the truth of sannyasa and tyaga, O Lord of the senses, slayer of Keshi. Jai Gurudev. That's it. So, let's close our eyes and reflect on all that we have listened to and understood. And let's have Manana for some time. Jai Gurudev. I invite everyone to share their understanding. So Arjuna starts off by asking, if a ritual is done without Shraddha, what does it become? Does it become Sattvika, Rajasika, or Tamasika? That was his question. And then Bhagwan starts off by answering that there are three types of Shraddha. And the Shraddha is the attitude in the mind. It is not just faith as we normally understand it. It is the attitude of your mind. It is permeating, it permeates the whole system. The way of thinking, the way he speaks, a person speaks, the way he acts, the way he keeps himself and his surroundings, the way he dresses. It actually permeates. It is attitude, it is priorities. And accordingly, he classifies them: yajna, dana, and tapa, and the kind of food that is eaten. And then he goes on to explaining the three kinds of tapas: kaika, vachika, and manasika tapas, and how each one of them is also classified as sattvika, rajasika, tamasika. And then finally he comes to say, Om Tat Sat. These three words, which indicate Brahman, are actually purifying. In case there is some miss, some omission, in case your attitude is not completely properly sattvika, saying these three words with Shraddha will purify that. And any activity done without this, without the sattvika Shraddha becomes asat, is useless, it's fruitless. So it's so important for us to be alert and live our life. I mean, Krishna, as Bhagwan, has actually opened the whole banana and he's giving it to us. Every chapter he's making it so clear how we should live our life. It is such a way, it's a book of life actually. Can't be more grateful to this. Yeah. Jai Gurudev. Please, let's all share.
Unfortunately, all these years we have been doing the charity or yajnas, or it's for some, something to get out of it. That has been the practice. You do some yajnas or do some charity so that you get some punya. This was the mindset earlier. That has really changed.
Just true. I mean, better late than never, isn't it? So this particular chapter is such an eye opener. I'm just wondering, when we do, for instance, some satsang at home, or we do Satyanarayana Puja and we invite everyone. Of course, it depends on your mental attitude with how you're doing it. Inner attitude is what classifies it as either Sattvika, Rajasika, or Tamasika. But is there not an element of Rajasika there, Shraddha, Rajasika Shraddha, where you're inviting people and then you're, I don't know,
Absolutely.
this,
Even when we say any stotras or shlokas, there is a falashruti, and it will promise you all material things. Maybe at the end, maybe moksha. I have not, I don't remember any of the shloka. Falashruti says moksha. Do you remember? Because whenever we chant Atharva Sheesh and all, the Falashruti would say, oh, you'll get this, you'll get that. I mean, uh, I think the person starts his journey with at least doing this and maybe come to this knowledge. I don't know.
But
But
at the same time,
Jai Gurudev. Yeah, there is definitely even the artis we do know, Datta Datta or whatever. At the end of this, they always say, no, ki, you get the moksha also by praying and doing all these. There is one sentence where somewhere it gets connected directly to the moksha and parampad or something one or other half line there will be something connecting to the ultimate goal also. Of
yeah,
course, initially all the
even in the
facilities
Sankalpa, it
comfort.
is mentioned.
Yes.
Sankalpa also, you have Artha, Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha, Chaturvida Phala Purushartha Siddhyartham. So that Sankalpa also, Moksha is of course included. What I'm saying is, it is an inner attitude. See, you can invite people for a Satyanarayana Puja that you're doing at home, but what is your inner attitude? Is it to and is it to share your joy, your bringing in that purity, that sanctity that you want everybody to share, or are you doing it to show off your wealth and how many dishes you can put up there? Again, it all depends on your inner attitude. You may give very simple prasada, or you may give an elaborate spread of food there. But whatever it is, if your inner attitude is that of doing it just for the sake of doing it, with that pure mind, with just that antakarana shuddhi as your goal, then it becomes satvika. But even if there is a tinge of uh, doing it for name recognition or feeling satisfied, oh, I've done this, then it becomes ashuddham. And I wouldn't say ashuddham, it becomes asat. It is as good as not doing, it becomes fruitless. Because ultimately, this human life is the ultimate purpose of this human life is to attain moksha. All else is unimportant. So, in order to attain moksha, we need to purify this antakarana so that knowledge can dawn. So, any of these activities that we do, whether it is yajna, dana, tapa, and Krishna says you should not leave these three. It is not that you should stop doing these pujas. No. He says yajna, dana, tapa, karma na tyajet. Do not give up these. These, as long as you live, you continue to do it. Do it. But with what attitude? This whole chapter is about shifting your mental attitude or retuning it, refining your mental attitude, our mental attitude. Even if you're doing yoga and say kriya or meditation, if you're doing it, oh, if I do this asana, I'm going to get this benefit, or this disease is going to go off.
Exactly,
It
this
is,
is what I was thinking. When we are introduced to Sudarshan Kriya and all, uh, this was the promise, and that is why we kept doing it. This will make me healthy, and this will keep me, in good shape. The mental stress will go. Then I'll be happy. I mean, these are the things. I mean, short term gains we kept seeing. That's what I was trying to say.
yeah.
And when you were saying Satyanarayana Puja, the whole puja itself is to gain the material things. If you have seen the puja, if you don't do it, then there will be punishment. This is the story which is being told over there. So, how from that kind of story, how you think of even moksha is my question.
See, somewhere we learned, no? It's all a process of evolution.
everybody is in a different stage of evolution. So rather than not do the puja, a person who is doing the puja is a shade better in the sense there will be some time, like how you and I are thinking, when we look back and say, hey, listen, all those that we're doing, was it done with the material gain in mind? Or was it done because the Shastra had said that, and therefore we're just doing it for mental purification? The whole process of arranging for the puja, doing everything, if you are doing it with that attitude just to, you're just doing it out of joy. It is not for joy. You're doing it out of joy. Then it becomes sattvika, right? So this evolution happened to you, me, to everybody else who's here. That maturity happens at some point. So I think therefore everything has its place. We cannot negate and say no, the puja is not important. Why should we do? We cannot negate it. While we don't negate it, what we are exposed to now in this knowledge is to refine our attitude towards it, not to look down upon it. And there will come a time when you don't feel the need. That bhaya also, all those things that say, okay, if you don't do this, you'll get this. That bhaya also is gone. You become nirbhaya. So then you hold on to knowledge, and then you hold on to the Vedanta, and then I think it's all part of evolution.
Jai Gurudev. This line which which Mrinal ji was asking, I too had this doubt if there is a lack of proper attitude, making it asatvika, or if certain steps are omitted or mistakes are made. Om Tat Sat is an expression which will make up of everything. So, can you explain it further? What? And this is on page number 165.
I think, see, if your mental attitude is not completely sattvika, there is some little, like you're doing a puja, for instance, there may be a little rajasika tendency or something coming up there. So then when you say Om Tat Sat, and you say it with that Shraddha, again with that mental attitude that it is purifying, then it tends to purify, tends to kind of overshadow that little omission, that little lack of total sattvika shraddha inside. That's what I understood it. It could be, maybe there's a different meaning to this, but that is what I looked at. That's how I understood. Maybe others can also share.
Like two things are said. Okay, Percy ji, you continue.
For me, I was feeling like this, how our thoughts formed. Our thoughts are formed because of the newspaper, the TV, and now in today's times, the digital media that is there. And that leads to our thought process being formed. Similarly, that is how we keep evolving. All our ancestors or our parents have told us something and we believe in it. And that is how our thoughts are formed because of that. Now, today, we are indulging in the Vedic scriptures and we have been studying these Vedic scriptures. So, basically, at the root of it in our mind, our thoughts have undergone a change and we have evolved. Like we may have been tamasic or we may have been rajasic, and now we are moving towards sattva. And because of the knowledge that is given in this Vedas, and we are following it, we are practicing it, we are putting it into practice in daily life on a daily basis. And all this manana that we are doing, that is transforming our thought process itself. And from there, whatever work we are doing is becoming more and more sattvic. And therefore, even if we are making a mistake, like somebody said, why say Om Tat Sat just now? It's like when you make a mistake, you say, oh, sorry, 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 sorry. It's a way of saying, okay, I made a mistake. So, like when you say Om Tat Sat, the negativity is wiped off, whatever, or you are evolving to a more Sattva guna, even if it was Ratsik or whatever, or with which you started the process, the ritual, or any activity. So then it transforms. So that is the way I understood it. The
Such a
root
beautiful
this
way
thing is
of,
the thought process. Our thoughts
yeah.
change. From there, the attitude will come. Na? Thoughts lead to action. Action becomes a habit over a period of time. The habit becomes your attitude. Angry young man for Amitabh Bachchan when he was in his 30s, 40s. Today is a sophisticated man. The whole attitude is changed completely. So he has evolved from an angry young man to a sober personality now, something like that. So through knowledge, we are keeping on evolving. And in the process, if we are making mistake, we say Om Tat Sat or Hari Om or whatever. And that Suddhikaran happens when we do that.
So beautifully explained. Sorry, sorry. I like that. That you know, and Om Tat Sat also. These are the three words that indicate Brahman. So automatically, when you're doing it with Shraddha, and it says very clearly, saying Om Tat Sat with Shraddha, with that uh, attitude, with that understanding that they mean and they indicate Brahman, automatically you're hooking yourself to the highest truth. So that instant, it's got that instant cleansing kind of property that happens.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thank you so
definitely.
much.
Yeah, that
Huh?
definitely works. Even means when we say na pavitra pavitro va yat
Mm.
yat smaret pundarikaksham, immediately you feel some transformation within and
Isn't it?
out.
You suddenly feel so pure inside.
Yes, yes. Same thing Om Tat Sat also
Mm.
with Shraddha when you because these are not the words, these are the downloaded powerful sounds which has that charged sound that has capacity to really transcend your whole existence suddenly the moment you chant it. That is why the importance of all these, when it is said in the Bhagavad Gita, say Om Tat Sat and it will be transformed, that means 100% the transformation has to happen. Jai Guru. It's not any ordinary language when we speak, no? It's not like that. That's what I feel. Brahmaraji, you please clarify.
Yeah, you're very right. But understanding the meaning and doing it with that, mm,
Is very important. Yes. That is why
not
I
just
am
saying
insisting.
mechanically,
That is
if
why
you're
I'm,
saying, see, when you say Jai Gurudev also, you can just say it, mechanically, Jai Gurudev. But when you say Jai Gurudev and you know the meaning behind those words, you're actually saying, may your big mind work. Salutations to that big mind, victory to that big mind. It changes your inner attitude completely. Same when
absolutely.
you
And
say
that is why
hello,
I am.
when you're giving a
Yes,
smile, when you're greeting someone, like how a air hostess greets, is so very dry. It is without any emotion, without any inner attitude. But the same thing, how you greet, you greet with that full love inside of you, then it makes a big difference. So again, coming back to the Shraddha is the inner attitude in our mind, the nature of our mind. That is what will have to work on in making it more and more sattvika. So I just want to share one thing, okay? Because we don't have a maid ever since COVID. There's no maid, so it's just me and my husband who take care of the house. So sometimes there is, because both of us are working, the house is not as clean as we want it to be. Although we're doing the regular cleaning and all that, but deep cleaning sometimes doesn't happen. So ever since we've started this chapter, it has kind of got me to
value how important it is to keep your surroundings very clean. So I've actually taken it upon myself. I said, whenever I have time, when when I have a little time on hand, I am going to start with cleaning one room at a time. I will not be able to do everything together at one go, but let me start doing it. And believe me, the very act of cleaning, I think all of us agree we've done that. And I'm just sharing this. The very act of cleaning was so, it not only cleaned the outside, there was also some deep cleaning happening inside. So that Bahya Shuddhi is as important as that Antakarana Shuddhi. So we have come
That,
to the, yeah, go ahead.
here, that's why I'm insisting that at least once we will just quickly in 15-20 minutes, we will go through the Brahma Gyanavali Mala with meaning, just like how we are discussing the shlokas. And this Maya Panchakam. So that when that chanting is happening at the end of the session,
Yeah.
every session, immediately the meaning is also there going on within us. So the whole thing will be very much on a different level. That's why I'm requesting that
I remember your request, your suggestion, Madhuri ji. We'll do that. Today, maybe we'll just play the Nirvana Shatakam. We may have time just for that. Tomorrow, what I suggest before we take on chapter 18, there are two things. One is we can do the Brahmajnana Vali Mala, the meaning, Maya Panchakam, and the Nirvana Shatakam. We'll do the meanings. Nana also wanted to do the Chaturvimshati, Ramana Maharshi's Chaturvimshati. I will check with him whether he would like to do this before the 18th chapter or at the end of the 18th chapter. Because 18th chapter again is huge. It has got some 78 shlokas. It will take us some time to complete it. So we have these few things to do, or we can revise a little bit of Tattva Bodh one more time before we go on to the 18th. 18th chapter again is complete in itself. It summates the whole of the other chapters. So we have these things laid out, but tomorrow we'll do the meanings of the Brahmajnana Vali Mala. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Just one request. Gurudev is coming to Pune, and
Yes.
we'll all be in the ashram from 5th to 8th. So
Okay.
Nana sessions can be kept after that.
Okay. No
Yeah.
problem.
Thank
After
you. Thank
8.
you so much. Yeah. Thanks.
No problem.
Thank you so
We are
much.
wishing you
Yeah, all
also
of us we
personally.
will be in Pune.
Yeah. I will just share Nirvana Shatakam. We'll just do the Shanti part and we'll listen to this. Om Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Tat Sat Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. Jai Gurudev.
मनोबुद्ध्यहङ्कार चित्तानिनाहम् न च श्रोत्रजिह्वे न च घ्राणनेत्रे न च व्योमभूमिर्न तेजो न वायु चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं वायुः न वा सप्तधातुः न वा पञ्चकोशः न वाक्पाणिपादौ न चोपस्थपायु चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् न मे द्वेषरागो न मे लोभमोहो मदोर्नैव मे नैव मात्सर्यभावः न धर्मो न चार्थो न कामो न मोक्षः चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् न पुण्यं न पापं न सौख्यं न दुःखं न मन्त्रो न तीर्थं न वेदा न यज्ञः अहं भोजनं नैव भोज्यं न भोक्ता चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् न मे मृत्युशङ्का न मे जातिभेदः पिता नैव मे नैव माता न जन्म न बन्धुर्न मित्रं गुरुर्नैव शिष्यः चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् अहं निर्विकल्पो निराकाररूपो विभुर्व्याप्य सर्वत्र सर्वेन्द्रियाणां सदा मे समत्वं न मुक्तिर्न बन्धः चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम्